Welcome back to Passing Time with Craig. As always, I'm your host, Craig, and today I am very excited because Bhu Chana from Masterchef Canada Season 8 is back on the pod. We're going to have a full discussion of her time on the show, so spoilers, if you were not caught up, definitely this is your spoiler warning to do so. But we had a great time chatting, catching up. You know, this time we could discuss the whole season, the different challenges, the issues she faced, what was it truly like? Whereas before, there was only 2 episodes out. We couldn't really talk about much. So this is really fun. Really excited to have Bhu back on to chat about her experience. But before we get to that, lots to talk about. It's the holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah currently. If you're listening to it this week as it releases, Christmas is next week. Got New Year's coming up, Kwanzaa, lots of fun stuff. So I hope everybody's been keeping busy. I've been very busy with all the events. I want to thank all you who have come out to my events, but also the corporate gigs that I've gotten. It's so nice to go in and celebrate the community co-workers together and have some fun with them, which is a blast. Also, thank you again, Mike and Victoria, for the Screen Acting Academy's Christmas party that they asked me to moderate. That was so much fun to talk to all these people in the industry, and I hope everybody involved had a blast and learned some things and made some connections and networking, because that's a key thing in life. We forget about it all the time. It was reiterated lots, but networking, connections, putting yourself out there, it's key, and that's definitely what I want to do. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for that. I also wanted to throw in some Christmas movie recommendations. We've got so many great ones. You know, you got the classics. This Sunday, I'm going to be hosting a free screening of Muppets Christmas Carol, but you all know I love that one. Christmas Vacation's a classic. But there is a new film out that I have to mention, the Jonas Brothers Christmas movie. It is fun. It is pure fun. I had a blast with it. It's ridiculous. They know it's ridiculous. They're doing all these homages to Christmas movies, specials. They're making fun of themselves. They're having a blast. I 10 out of 10 recommend it. And another one that's on Disney Plus, if you've never seen it, came out. It was one of the first things on Disney Plus. One of the first original things is Noelle with Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader. Really fun film. Really fun Christmas movie. Anna Kendrick is great in it, and if you haven't checked it out, I would suggest you do that. That's going to be great. We've also got, some new films out. This is Oscar bait season. Netflix has some great films that I'm super excited about. And of course, if you haven't watched Stranger Things, definitely get those going. Christmas Day, the next 3 episodes come out, and then New Year's Eve, the finale, final episode, 2.5 hour long film of Stranger Things. I can't wait. I will be seeing New Year's Days with my friends. New Year's Eve, if you're looking for something to do in Calgary, I will be hosting bingo at Bell Screw Bills. It's always a lot of fun. And then, of course, watch these and expect in the new year, Season 3 will be kicking off of Passing Time with Craig. We're going to switch things up a little bit differently this year. We will be going right into Season 3, and then we're going to be taking a break in February, March, because I'm off to Europe, which I can't wait. But yeah, so we're going to be kicking off Season 3 right away in January, and Ryan Phillips will be back on the pod to talk all things Stranger Things, which I'm looking forward to. With that said, if you need something else to watch, a Christmas movie, you have a week's notice, because on Christmas Eve, I'm releasing a special crossover episode with my buddies, Tuck and Roll. Ryan and Andrew will be coming on to my podcast to discuss 1984's Gremlins. Christmas movie, not a Christmas movie. We have that discussion. It's a blast. So you've got a week to watch Gremlins. I recommend it. It was a lot of fun. I can't really remember the last time I watched it, or if I ever fully watched it. So you'll hear all my thoughts, plus Ryan and Andrew's. So check that out. I can't wait for that. But now, the reason why you're all here today, I mean, I'm assuming that's sometimes just because of me, but we're here to chat with Bhu. She did such an incredible job on the season of Masterchef Canada, Season 8. I loved her. Her energy's amazing. She's even more fun to talk to, and we have so much to discuss. So enjoy my conversation with Bhu, MasterChef Canada Season 8 contestant, Bhu Chana.
How are you? It's so good to see you and talk to you again.
It's so good to see you again. I was hoping to chat with you again, but I was hoping that it was going to be under different circumstances.
Ah, it's all good. I guess we were just meant to talk sooner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this season, I had so much fun watching this season. And now, spoiler alert, as I will have the disclaimer at the beginning of the episode as well. Unfortunately, you were eliminated in this newest episode. You made it so
Yeah.
far in the competition. You must have so many feelings. Knowing that this episode was coming up, what was that like for you, especially keeping some secrets from family and friends?
Yeah. So yeah, this one was interesting because after the top five episode aired and I was announced as one of the top four, I just had such an overwhelming amount of love, and everyone was like, "We know you're gonna go to the finale. Where's the watch party?" and all of this and all of that. And deep down, I knew the reality of the situation, but I didn't, you don't want to spoil it for anybody. And so you kind of have to play along yeah, and yeah, so it was kind of I thought it would be more bitter than
Yeah.
sweet, but watching it last night, I'm just so grateful for MasterChef Canada.
What an incredible opportunity. I mean, you got to do so many things that you've never, and I think that's what I love about it is that there's different challenges that you're like, I've never done this before, and then there's other chefs who are like, I'm an expert at this, but I don't know this. And um, yeah, some of these challenges that you had, I mean, the fish, like talk to me about the fish episode because that was quite. I mean, and none of you were all like, like. Luckily, you had that wonderful lesson, but that's a whole different experience for you.
Yeah, so funny, like before I went, I like nudged one of my friends on the shoulder. I was like, "Hey, you know how to fillet a fish, right? Would you mind just, coming over to my house and showing me how to, fillet a fish?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "That's weird." And I was like, "Yeah, but yeah, just I just want to, I'm having this new life where I'm appreciating seafood because I knew for a fact fish was going to be somewhere on MasterChef Canada. It always makes an appearance. So I was definitely worried about that. But the filet along was nice and helpful. I was very thankful that Chef Hugh did a filet along, and I wasn't on my own with filleting the fish.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and like I said on the episode, I was like, I'm a landlocked girl. I really,
I
I don't know.
I felt that as a fellow Calgarian. I was like, oh yeah, we don't. What is this?
I was like, I don't think our river has fish in it either. So yeah, I was like, this is really far from home.
Yeah.
But I embraced it as much as I could, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, that one, all all the chefs seem to kind of struggle with that one. Was there a challenge that was like that we saw that you found was harder, and I don't think people realize how difficult it was? Like for me, I think the stressful one was the tag team one, where you had to just stop.
Yeah.
Like that was a stressful one. So was that the
Yeah.
hardest for you? What was the hardest challenge for you?
So funny thing, I was dreading the tag team one.
Yeah.
Like I've watched it on previous seasons, and it like looks like it never goes well. And so my whole goal going into tag team was survival and not winning. But it has turned out to be my favorite challenge of the season, and a big kudos to my partner Andreas. We are both teachers, educators, and it was just so much fun working with him that I don't dread it anymore. Going back to your question about one that was really struggling with was that tortilla challenge with those samosas.
Oh yeah.
So I folded like so many samosas in my life. I can do them in my sleep, but that tortilla one, it just wouldn't stay shut. And I was making all sorts of pasty liquids to like keep these samosas closed. And then I'd be like, holding with one with the other hand and I'm applying paste with the other hand. And I'm just like, and then, and also what was giving me stress, it was like I was down to my last tortilla.
Mm.
So I had two done and I was down to my last tortilla and I was like, I really need this last tortilla to like come through. So I think it was the absolute last samosa that I could possibly make that made it to the plate.
And is this one of those foods now that since coming home, you're like, I'm not making this for a while? Like, was there anything that you're just like, I need a break from you because you put me through stress?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's black beans.
Done,
I
done.
I just couldn't. I like got home and I saw a can of black beans and it just brought everything back. And I was like, no, thank you, no, thank you. So it took me a while. It took me a couple of months to
And
like trust black beans again.
just, we had some trust issues. I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
work on it. We'll get there.
we're working on it. Sometimes I see it again and I'm like, no.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, I mean, you made it very far. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
there was several people on their way out. They were like they'd ask who do you think? And people were, saying, I think it's Boo. Was that adding more pressure to you? I mean, and you won that first immunity pin, like you
Yeah.
won some challenges, your name was thrown around a lot. Was that adding more pressure for you being in the competition?
Yeah, definitely. Like I almost felt like there was a responsibility now to like, see it through.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and it warms my heart so much that my fellow contestants believed in me more than sometimes more than I believed in myself. So, um, it was really nice, and as much as it does bring pressure, it also brings like a warmness and just a nice mutual respect that everybody is, you know, willing to support each other. Um, and that's why I loved this year's cast. I don't know how it is behind the scenes, but for ours, we were so supportive behind the scenes towards each other, and so open to teaching each other what we knew. And, it was just like a bunch of foodies getting together every night and like talking food. And it was just so much fun.
I was gonna mention that because I could feel the relationships. Like you mentioned the tag team with Andreas and like you guys had such a beautiful friendship and just everybody was supportive, then there was like, oh, this person's been doing really well. I don't want to go head to head to them because I love them and I respect them and oh no. And I just thought
Yeah.
that was so great. Like because you guys are going through something that not a lot of people get to experience and you don't understand the pressure. So to have a supportive must have just been amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. And this is, I think, at a point in the game, it was like when you ended up with an advantage in your lap, it really felt like a disadvantage because you are in this position where you could be strategic or you could be, it's gonna come off as some sort of way,
Yeah.
no matter what choices you make, right? Um, so I hated having advantages because I being in that position, I think it's just such a double-edged sword. And yeah, I just did not like curating any of those. So kudos to my fellow home cooks who had advantages and I know it was a very stressful part of their game and it puts a lot more pressure on you when you're in a position where you have to make decisions about your fellow contestants.
Yeah, I mean, you like watching it, I was like, I'm so stressed for these people. And you must have the two I can think of is like who got to pick the teams, the red and the blue team. That didn't work out. And then but also the secretly pairing people up to compete the dishes against each other. I could see how stressful they must have been. You must have been like, thank God it's not me.
Yeah, that's literally how I felt, and I felt so much empathy for. I think Koichi did both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know behind the scenes it was very stressful after he had revealed his decisions. So yeah.
And so, I mean, most of this time you were competing by yourself, but I want to ask, what was the team challenge that, like, you're making these foods for some of the harshest critics, children, but this is one where you need to kind of stand out, but you have to collaborate and listen and work with people, knowing that your life is on the line because of what everybody else
Yeah.
does.
I think the team challenge taught me a lot. One, it taught me that no, we're just not cooking for fun.
Yeah.
We are in a space that is shared and it requires a lot of respect to be in that space. And also, that was the challenge where it hit me that this is a game
Hmm.
and it's not just about cooking. There's strategy, there's this. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of tiers to that team challenge. One, working together with someone, utilizing your strengths, and then also there's that whole other component that you need to use this unknown ingredient, and then you got to impress kids. There's so much pressure, and at that point, we were not as close yet. It was early in the
Yeah.
season, and so we really didn't know each other that well yet. So that challenge also allowed us to see how everybody works together. That was the first time we were ever working with the other home cooks.
Yeah, it's really just diving right in and be like, all right, let's see what everybody brings to the table and learning their style, and then because then that's going to change how you do future competition, because you're going to be like, I saw them during this challenge because I worked beside them doing it and I saw how well they did this, so I need to be prepared for that.
Yeah, and then you start like noticing that certain people are excellent at desserts and certain people are excellent at like innovation. And so those things you start to learn about each other. And then yeah, that affects the journey as well.
Yeah. I do want to ask you, now that you're back home cooking without the time limits, like, has do you find yourself thinking, I got 45 minutes, or I've got an hour, or I've got 2 hours, or do you go, ooh, I can just take my time?
Well, Craig, as you know, I live a very busy lifestyle. I'm a teacher, I'm a dancer, and so I'm literally passing through my home. I cook a meal and then I'm off to dance practice. So we never really set a time, but yeah, we gotta get things on a move on if I need to make it to my next destination.
So it's kind of helped you then.
Yeah, it kind of helped me, but what's nice about being home is I have support from my husband. So if like sometimes I don't finish, I'm like, okay, that needs to come out of the oven in about 20 minutes, and if you could just pack me up. So he's been great. So I have my husband as a safety net at
Yeah.
home.
And so your husband, supportive watching you doing this, after an episode, would he go, okay, I need you to make me that? Or like, was there a few recipes? Or he's like, when are you doing that for me?
Oh, yeah. He's so kind. He never asks. He always, um, allows me to share the dish with him on my terms. And sometimes I love surprising him.
Yeah.
So, like for that episode where I won the immunity pin, I was like in the kitchen, like secretly making the dish. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Get out." And then yeah, I really wanted to give it to him when it went up to the judging panel on the show. So most of the dishes that he's wanted to try or as, that I'm proud of, um kind of surprised him
Yeah.
with them.
That's awesome. Okay, so, and we have to ask, what was your favorite challenge out of all things, or maybe favorite challenge, but also your favorite dish if it's separate than from the challenge?
My favorite challenge is the tag team challenge. I loved it so much. Like in that challenge, I wasn't even thinking about winning or losing. I was like, I'm just having such a great time, and I'm doing a lot of jumping jacks for some reason. And but yeah, that one was so fun, so fun. I don't know where and our food looked decent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the best, looked decent. My favorite dish is the pistachio rose
Oh,
dough.
really? Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think of it as a blessing because Veronica beat me in that takeout challenge, which put me into the pressure test. But like out of that pressure test came these like beautiful donuts.
Yeah.
And I'm not a baker and I'm learning to appreciate baking as an art now. Um, but that I think that was my gateway in. So that dish will always have a special place in my heart.
Yeah, because I like last time you were on, you were mentioning that you're not a baker, and so we saw the donuts, and then of course, it was the 100th episode, and so you made cake. Like that cake looked delicious, by the way. But I was like,
Thank you.
how like that was I'd never seen anything like that, and like having those like the perfect squares and having it, I mean, impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, the cake one was very stressful. Like I was not looking forward to the cake one, but I'm still proud of what I put out. Yeah. Funny you say that. I'm actually baking a cake right now.
Really?
I'm like practicing in the background.
That's awesome. So, I mean, how you mentioned when you made it to as far as you did, and people were like, "When's the viewing party for the finale? You're gonna go all the way." But what has this experience been like for you with your students, your family, your friends, your fellow dancers? Like, what has this been like to feel the support and love from everybody?
All I can say is I'm lucky and I'm extremely blessed to have so much support. My family, my friends, my students, my colleagues, they have just been so supportive. After every episode airs, I'll get a bunch of messages from people. And the next day at work, like we have a debrief session about the episode. And then that kindness has extended from strangers now, which is really like mind blowing to me. Like I'll be out and people will approach me and just be like, "Are you Boo from MasterChef?" I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "Wow, we love you." And I was like, that's so weird to me that I don't know that I've been able to share myself, my food with so many people. Um, yeah, that warms my heart as well.
Yeah, I mean, I so enjoyed watching. I was into every single episode. I was getting stressed. I was rooting for you because you just were such a great energy on the show, and we're just doing so many amazing things. So I get why everybody's sharing love with you because you were amazing.
Oh, Craig, that's so sweet.
And so what's the kitchen, what's the cooking looking like now? Show's done. What are you looking forward to in your food life?
So I learned so much on the show. Like I'm quite in a small bubble. I real like and I never thought that I was, I knew everything about food. And that's why I love traveling and hearing stories from locals. There's so much that I still don't know. There's a whole world of seafood that I need to learn. I went and bought scallops
Really?
for the first time. So I'm gonna try, experimenting with those. And baking. I'm trying to learn baking. It just opened the doors and so many doors I didn't know that were there. Like I didn't know what a crudo was.
Yeah.
Again, it's just it's us landlocked people who really don't know
Yeah,
this.
we really.
But yeah, and it's so intriguing because I would prefer to eat my seafood raw
Yeah.
versus cooking it. Um, yeah, so I'm just, pushing my limits and seeing how I can give it a boost spin on it. Yeah, and cheers to many more failures in the kitchen because that teaches me a lot more um than my wins.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's an important lesson for everyone, no matter what you're doing. You need the confidence to be able to fail.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, you're a teacher. You're a dancer. You have all these areas that if you are confident enough to try something and it doesn't work out, and then go, okay, well, what can I do next time, or where can I learn, or who can I learn from? I think
Yeah.
that's such an important skill to have.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I think we have to own everything that we do in our life, I learned that from the show. You could tell where I was owning things. You could tell towards the end I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't, and that's why it was such a mess at the end. I wasn't being true to myself. And it was showing on my plates. And I realized it's you're so vulnerable when you put yourself on a plate. I think last night I said my plate looks naked.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Um, so I learned about myself through watching myself. I also learned that I'm so emotional and so connected to the food that I'm putting on my plate.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, like, what did you learn watching yourself, like, over these 10 episodes? Like, you have this footage that nobody else gets to see of themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely like an out of body experience seeing yourself on TV. Yeah, but the biggest thing that I learned was I didn't see myself as an emotional person. I was always like, I have street cred. I don't cry. I cried the most on that show. What was I
There
doing?
was so much more crying on this show than I expected.
Yeah, I was like, Boo does not cry. Apparently on Masterchef Canada, she does.
You're like, I'm badass Boo. What's happening? I don't cry.
Yeah, and I
No.
don't cry. Yeah, that's the attitude that I used to have. And then I was like, oh wow, I'm a little bit of a softie inside. I'm like a soft boiled egg. We don't talk about eggs either. No.
No.
Yeah, yeah, there's so much more to me, and I'm very thankful because I learned so much more about myself than I ever knew.
Yeah. Did you, going into it, did you think you would make it this far?
No,
No.
no. I was like, they're gonna catch on real quick.
I am so screwed. They're gonna learn right away.
I no, my I when I left for MasterChef, I told my husband, I was like, I just want a white apron. I just want a white apron that says Boo on it.
Yeah.
And that means so much to me, to have my name, my identity put on one of those white aprons. That's all I wanted.
Yeah. And you got that.
Yeah. I
So,
love.
I know you're very busy, so we're gonna start wrapping this up here, but I do want to ask, I mean, people, they're casting, people at home watching it, people who were like you being like, I don't know, maybe I should do it. What advice do you have for all those contestants or future contestants, people who watch the show every year, listening to this podcast and going, I don't know if I can do it?
You know, if you're thinking about it, do it.
Yeah.
Own who you are, and it'll take you far.
That's great advice for so many things. You were so a teacher.
Classes in session.
I love it. I just adore you so much.
Aw.
I'm so sorry for you not winning, but you made it so far and you should be incredibly proud of yourself because you absolutely crushed it.
Thank you, Craig. I am beyond proud of what I accomplished on the show, and I have no regrets. And so, yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome.
Yeah, and you went in prepared too. You knew some things that you didn't know, and you tested yourself when it came to like fish. So again, if people listening, if there's something that you know that they always tackle, maybe try some things out at home.
Yeah, try something new. If something really, stresses you out, then, you know, go and get it and try it. It's your kitchen.
Yeah.
Who cares if you fail?
I know you were trying. I mean, it's like one episode I was just making like craft dinner, and I was like watching you all make. I forget which one you were making. Oh, it was the this challenge was stressful. The timed one where you would get a new ingredient, but
Oh
you
my
had
gosh,
less
yes.
time. Oh my goodness, that
I
episode.
forgot about that one.
Yeah, you're like blocking that one out. Yeah, I was making craft dinner. I was like, I'm too stressed, and all I need is like milk and butter. Yeah, that was a challenge.
Yeah, it was a challenge. Yeah, I forgot that one. It was it was fun when it was over.
Yeah.
In the moment, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, I don't know when because I was like, I would need all the time in the world, but also there's not enough things to work off of here, so I need more things. And then you're like, but what's the next step? And losing the
Yeah.
chicken.
So losing the chicken, I think that was like on the top of my mind. I was like, losing the chicken.
Yeah. Well, Boo, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us again. It was an absolute pleasure watching you on MasterChef Canada. You crushed it, and it was just a joy.
Always a pleasure to talk with you, Craig.
Yes, always a
And
pleasure to talk with you as well.
yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, you got to come to one of my trivia nights.
Yes, I do. Okay, I'll come in the new year.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Boo. Thank you so much, Boo, for coming back on the podcast and chatting with me. You should be so proud of yourself. You were incredible and an inspiration, and it was just joyous talking with you. And before we go, I do have to take a moment because the world is a little scary right now. I know this is the time of year when we're supposed to be celebrating joy and love and laughter. Uh, but it's hard when there's so much hate and loss going on. School shootings, a anti-Semitic terrorist attack at Bondi Beach in Australia, and then of course the tragic murder of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Reiner. It's a difficult time for people. Grief really hit hard this time of year. I know from my own experiences, there are some Christmas times that I'm totally okay and doing fine, and the next moment I am missing my mom like crazy, and I am heartbroken that she's not here. This is the 25th Christmas without her. I know there's going to be some moments that will be very difficult for me, and I know that with everything going on in the world right now, it can seem like a very scary, unwelcoming place. This is why now more than ever we need to tell people how we feel. We need to be there for them, connect with them, do what you need to do, experience things because life is so short and you never know. So sorry for all the victims, their families, their friends, members of the Jewish community. I hope you can find some solace in this time of year. Find someone you can connect with. There are plenty of resources out there if you are feeling alone this holiday season, that you can reach out to. Different phone lines, text lines, support groups. You are not alone. And I know this is really tough, but we can get through this as we get through everything, which is together and open-hearted. So spread this love. Keep it going, everybody. You are fantastic humans, and I'm sorry that the world has become very scary for everybody, especially just based off of your sexuality, your gender, your race, your beliefs. I'm hoping that 2026 will be a lot easier for everybody because we all deserve it. So thank you all for passing time with me. Make sure to follow me on social media at PTW Craig, Passing Time with Craig. I appreciate you all. I really do. Thank you so much. And we'll chat soon.